to 25 years. And IVSA will be a honor that you are talking to not only students from Nigeria, but across our borders. First, I would like to congratulate you all for choosing veterinary medicine as a profession, as a course of study, and wanting to be one. You cannot, I mean, the decision cannot be anything better with what exactly is happening now in the market. And I say this because I'm going to be speaking about some of the things much more than, what is it called? The native competence as a vet, but some of the things that have actually gained us ground, or those we look up to in the profession that has actually made them very thick. Next slide. Next slide. Hello? Can I get the next slide?
Okay. What about this?
No.
Which slide in particular? Can I get a glimpse of the content?
The next one. It's just the first slide that you have been showing. I needed the second and the third slide.
Okay, it's not showing. Oh, sorry,
No,
I have to start sharing
first.
my screen all over again. I've been trying to do that, but sorry. Okay. What about now?
You jumped slide. Go, aha, okay. Now, learning objective, based on what I have been asked to speak on, is to lay foundation for mentoring. And mentoring does not necessarily mean we should, I mean, the senior is talking to the junior, but it is something that has to do with sharing experience on how better you can do things. There are a lot of people that have come through here from Nsukka, from Ibadan, from even outside Nigeria in the name of mentoring. But, you know, it happens that it's the other way around. They are students, but, you know, most of the graduates were meant to learn a lot of new things. And this is very key and very, very important that I found. I must thank the officials of IVSA for doing this. Secondly, bringing industry knowledge to our day one vets is key. And the only way we can do this is through this kind of media where we get a number of people listening, or even those who are tutoring will also borrow from one another. Thirdly, it is also my hope that by the time we finish, we will now understand the place of entrepreneurship and networking in the veterinary profession. And lastly, the very big one, that even in the midst of plenty, we still ask for some things to create jobs, not being those who are expecting jobs. Next slide. Now, how do we want to do this? Next slide. It is basically that for you to be seen much more than being that vet in clinical, holding syringes and needles, or those vets. If you ask anybody in Nigeria, once you say you are a vet, we are synonymous with rabies. And it looks like they are borrowing from those days activities around rabies control. But, you know, beyond that, based on the kind of training that we receive, is that we can do so many things. And only today that we celebrated an icon, the CEO of Animal Care, Animal Care Services Consult, Dr. Olatunde Abatun's 70th birthday is still ongoing. I just came from another meeting there. But basically, what will change the game, what will make you exhibit those potentials that are in a vet has to do with entrepreneurship. And I've tried to look at the meaning of the entrepreneurship, and then some of them are being posted here, which I guess the officials are free to share later if they want to. Definition of entrepreneur is the concept of entrepreneur. The definition is that anyone who wants to work for himself or for herself is considered to be an entrepreneur. And then the Webster Dictionary also presents the definition as an entrepreneur as one who organizes, manages, and assumes the risk of a business or an enterprise. Next slide. Now, if you look at this, and then you want to actually play beyond the clinical activities, beyond the native knowledge of us being vets, you find out that for every challenge we have in this country today is an opportunity for you. And I borrowed this from a Chinese letter. Wherever you see a Chinese letter describing crisis or describing challenges, the opposite of it is always opportunity. It's like mirroring, the challenge is mirroring opportunity. And here in our country today, and in most African countries, you find out that the populations appears to be growing and growing very fast. We have younger people much more than the older people. And as such, unemployment and underemployment becomes a challenge. It is also there that there is a huge gap with veterinary and medical diagnostics. Only this afternoon, we got one of our senior colleagues in the ministry approved for my clinic to go to the US and buy some very good equipment. And even as I speak, he's still here, Dr. Ezenwa Konobi, and he has just approved that we should buy this equipment. And we had actually looked at our books and realized that we are spending close to about, average in a day, we spend about $200 equivalents sending samples to human diagnostic laboratory. And then we look at this and approach the bank. They still have not approved the money, but we've made a very big leap in seeing how we can get this equipment while we enter into some agreement. So huge opportunity for younger ones coming. And there is also an aspect of veterinary health certification, which is also a growing thing. We have security challenges and youth restiveness. This is an opportunity where we can talk about livestock production and some other things. And then the other opportunities are the gender-based and medical foundations and animal welfare, who appears to be emphasizing that in our side of the profession, they need to empower women. And then when they talk about this, they are talking about livestock production. I have my brother, Ambu, Dr. Shemsuddin, Ambu Vet, working closely with some communities and state governments to see how they can supply some veterinary services to the underserved. And these are great opportunity. Now, the non-oil revenue, the country appears to be crying out due to dwindling revenue sources. But unknown to the government and the politician is that the non-oil revenue is a huge one when you look inwards in agriculture. Next slide. And looked at a number of things, and then I actually wanted to highlight the other aspect that will make us very tick as vet practitioner based on our training. The key aspect now is the public health. This is an area where you have the veterinarian playing and then providing that bridge between human and animal health. I always tell my colleagues in the human counterpart, and we have a very big project we are working on now, the Fleming Fund, which is about 10 million pounds to Nigeria. And my company, the LMS, happens to be a beneficiary of that grant to see how we can administer. Now, it is important that we look at this because these emerging public health issues will continue. You have antimicrobial resistance, you have pandemics such as COVID, and as you know, most of them have their origin basically in animals. So veterinary public health must scale up by getting younger people to play a key role. I didn't know it was going to come this fast, but last year we had to recruit some professors, over 40 of them, to work with us with the Fleming Fund project across the country. And as we do that, we also have some younger ones attached to them to making sure that they know. I currently have students working, but there is a key thing that I need to also emphasize here. The vaccines that will hit the flow, the vaccines that will be soon produced for COVID-19 by the special grace of God, is coming from one of the companies where we have a vet as a CEO, and this is Pfizer. His work, the president is a vet, and he's worked tirelessly in making sure that this vaccine reach out to, it's been produced in a record time, and from the feelers we are getting, it is coming up. It's a vet. Though Pfizer is now splitted, former animal health is now Zoetis, but we still have elements of this vet leading even the Pfizer human health. And when he came out to announce that very soon we are going to have vaccine, they are just talking about, it's just a matter of the cost and affordability. I was so excited, and I think I felt we should also bring this to your notice. Next slide. Now, next slide. If you look at also other aspects of the public health is the food safety. And this is very key because I just mentioned Pfizer. The former Pfizer Animal Health was bought over by Zoetis, and they are supporting veterinary communities in Nigeria and some other African countries through a project they call Alpha. And they've installed some laboratories across the country, in Plateau, in Abuja, in Kaduna, also in Ibadan, and some others will also come up. But the key thing that this lab does is food safety check, the identifying the hazard and critical control points of this product, of our food product. And it's a very simple thing from the veterinary microbiology we learned. With the sophisticated equipment that we have now, vets must take this place. So many times we've had even carbonate being produced or safety check on some beverages companies like Nigerian Bottling Company being conducted by other Nestle, USC. When you talk about Gala, you talk about cereals produced by Nestle and water. These are aspects of food safety where vets must also work in. I am doing that now, but the introduction came, it is not about me. I have seen these opportunities, and I have younger ones that are running with this, and I'm happy that they are not just doing well, they are excellent, doing very well, and I will want a number of our colleagues in the school to look at this as an opportunity. I mean, most of these labs have been set up and it's been gifted to Nigeria and African countries by Bill and Melinda Gates, and looking for qualified people to handle this. Next slide. It is also important that we look into corporate medicine, where veterinarians may play a role in the research and development of a variety of animal-related products, such as veterinary pharmaceuticals and even in human pharmaceuticals. Take, for instance, what I just said earlier in producing vaccines. I mean, these are big areas, and beyond what we know as native competence as veterinarians handling clinical practice, these are areas begging for a number of us, and then we can do so much in helping ourselves and helping humanity. Next slide. Next slide. Okay, now agribusiness, I need not to overemphasize this, but you know, I through the mentoring arm of LMS, have been working with a number of people to creating wealth through agribusinesses by way of livestock breeding and upgrade services. In the clinical name, we call it theriogenealogy, but I don't want that. I want something that the market can connect with easily. So I describe it as upgrade services and livestock breeding centers. The aspect that I just finished on, managing hazard analysis, I am sure we are all familiar with hazard analysis and critical control point, branding of product. Today, you hear of Funtuna, you hear of Natnundu. These are brands in Nigeria that have gained acceptability by all. The market yearn for this product. They are eggs, but they've taken time to do them. They could be organic, they could be anything, but it's been branded because they've done some little effort in making sure that aspect of food safety is being taken care of, quality assurance. And then there are also, you know, network of print and electronic media having some shows on TV and radio talking about pets and animals in Abuja now and also in Lagos. And these are areas where we can get our colleagues. I have a colleague, Dr. Inya Adaba, that is heading a very big radio station today. She's a vet. We work together, and I try as much as possible to encourage her to take in that part. And each time she's talking about public health, you can see that this is somebody who has gotten some knowledge of public health, and you know, she connects with some of the topical issues easily. And a number of people can come up to becoming, after doing their masters in public health. We have people even on CNN, on other media, you know, working on this, and they are making a lot of money. And lastly, we must also look at a number of things based on, I'm citing some of these examples because these are some of the examples that I have been running with and I've seen colleagues running with, and they are making a living out of it, and they are doing very well, much more than those who perhaps are in that area. Now, import and export of livestock and even livestock product, it's key. And we need to also look at this and then see how we step it down in our curriculum or through programs like what we are having today. Next slide. Now, this is one of the adventures I've taken. You can see two young people there. Both of them are vets. They are both vets, and it was like an argument, and I still remember I like this clip and I like this moment. this is a moment where we shipped animals, and we've done a number of this, and we are still doing that. Even tomorrow, we are going to be shipping animals out of the country. But there is a lot of process that has to go with this that nobody was able to do for us until we sit down ourselves. And then we went to some of these countries, the Netherlands, South Africa, and some other countries. And we also learned how to go into, charter a cargo plane that will ship animals into the country. We also didn't do just that. We also learned some aviation processes where you will have to buy a parking space for your flight. For our chartered flight, and then also how to pay and then move animals out of the plane using, most of these things. These are areas that are very simple, and then we can do. This is one that stands out because I have had to use this air aviation company in other part of the countries, and I've shipped horses from Argentina to Kano to Lagos and to Abuja for more than 8 times using this. And it's an area where a number of people can learn in 1 month, and you understand how you can get your client, pay you money to doing this with them. This plane brought in about 167 pregnant dairy cattle from South Africa for a very big dairy farm in Nigeria. Before now, it will go by sea. Mortality on arrival will be 10%. We didn't have one single mortality. And then it was just under 10 hours from Pretoria to Abuja. The animals were led on their natural turf. Next slide. Now, the area we are very familiar with is teaching. We have a lot of colleagues, but I would like, for future purpose, I did mention something in my learning objective, that how do we bring in industry knowledge to our processes, to our curriculum, the professional curriculum, so to say. And this cannot be from my professors. It can only happen with the younger ones coming, like a number of us that we are speaking to now. How is it possible? We just published a paper about 5 days ago with Royal College of Veterinary, RVC, Royal Veterinary College in University of London, that has to do with attitudes and some other things. And we got a number of people, including our professors in ABU, and we did it all together for 1 year. We worked on it. We've sent out the link, and I will also be happy to share it. And I like this kind of collaboration because anything that was said there was actually physical. And we have a number of these projects that we are working on with some universities in the UK and in US, like University of Nebraska. Now, it is important that we understand that veterinary medicine, having an interest in academia is a very big thing outside the shores of Nigeria. And beyond the strikes that we always have, there are a number of things that veterinarians particularly can do for themselves as teachers, like in research and development, and then also providing a challenging professional curriculum for aspiring veterinarians, something that makes it really exciting and interesting. And next slide. Now, this is one clip that I like, and this is one mission in US. I had the opportunity of working with American Canine, and we also did a number of things with them. I had a fellowship in infectious disease and HIV and AIDS, and we did a number of things with the US CDC and the military in the Pentagon. And this moment was the moment that Osama bin Laden was captured in Pakistan. And if you see the number of animals there, and you see those guys that are trying to descend on the yard where he was captured, for each one person is a dog. So you have 3 people coming down on this flight number 26, but you also have 3 dogs coming down. And it was the dogs that did it, not the bullet, not the pilot. Now we have in Nigeria too, from the police, we have a very senior person. We've never had it that way, a female AIG who is in charge of the force animal branch with something similar like this. And then also the Air Force also have gotten a number of our colleagues using their veterinary knowledge, but also now working in the military services to providing this. I mean, I tried to get a clip of Nigerian Air Force in an operation like this, which we are also part of, but you know, I couldn't get that. But this is the one of the best. They are doing even much more than this in terms of in Zamfara now, they have this kind of operations going on where they are using animals to track some of these bandits, and it is our own colleagues that are doing this, and I expect that our younger ones must develop interest not only in the Nigerian army, but also, I mean, I've also forgotten to say that the paper that was published and then a number of documents that were also going to be published regarding COVID-19 is coming from a vet who we have worked with and we are still working with. He's now with the Defense Headquarters, providing a robust support for the Nigerian Center for Disease Control Response in terms of IPC, infection prevention and control. And we also have a team of vets in Nigerian prisons. We have them also with the Nigerian police. We also have them with Nigerian Air Force. And we look forward to other services like secret services having their own unit if they don't have. And they cannot do it without you and I if we don't leave that our comfort zone of handling just animals in clinical practice. Next slide. Now, why should we look elsewhere? Next slide. Why exactly shouldn't we be content with some other things? It is simple. You know, I did lay a foundation earlier that if you look at teaching, most of the universities are even saturated. If you look at government, you'll find out that of course, they need more hands, but the resources are not there. There is dwindling resource revenue, so they are not able to pay that. Because once they take us in, we now start yearning for that parity that we wanted to be paid the same way with our human medical counterpart or even more because of the kind of work we do. But not knowing that the opportunities are even more in private sector. The opportunities are more in some of these areas that I have enumerated. Aspects of branding, livestock product, you know, reaching out to the underserved communities in terms of veterinary practices. We want to control PPR. We want to also make sure that Renderpest and some other diseases, African swine fever is ravaging Newcastle. I mean, these things are not much more of a problem in organized livestock production than like we have in our rural communities. And we cannot be fighting those who want to reach out if we don't want to take it up. And there are ways that we can do it if you look at it as business, as an entrepreneur, as vetpreneurs. There are many ways you can you can rebrand the services, reach out to them, work hand in hand with government, just like Ambuvet is doing with Kaduna State and then with Kano State government. And these are great opportunities where we supervise the para-vets and then we take the quality veterinary services to the grassroots where we are required. It is a team of this, and I always dare to say that we should act, and then we should, beyond lip service, beyond coming over to be mentored by Vetco, by, you know, Pet Care, by Truth Miles, by Blue Blood or VetWall or anyone, you must be able to also on your own do some online studies on how these things work. And then you must also know that it is not the money that matters, but it is the idea and how you can achieve. You should be able to volunteer free of service. I've done this both in United States, with African Union, with even Nigerian government, where I go to offer my services. I've been working with Emergency Operating Center since the announcement of COVID-19 in Nigeria without any penny. And even tomorrow, there is going to be a major meeting, and we try to bring in a lot of things. And then by the time they see, it is the government or it is those beneficiaries that are now begging that you should take money. And then you are able to like identify and carve a niche for yourself where you move forward. Next slide. Now, next slide. I think I'm almost done. Now okay, I think we lost that. The bottom line. Can I get the slide? Right. No. Okay. Go down. Go down. Yes. Go down.
Here is the slide, sir. The bottom line.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much. Now, the bottom line is that as vets, we may find ourselves in positions in many more areas because we've had a very rigorous training, and these trainings are just meant to prepare us for challenges of our societies. And today you have vets in Senate, you have vets in House of Representatives, you have vets in civil service, and when you see them, when you see their memos, you won't, I mean, they are not necessarily in Ministry of Agri, they are in other ministries, but they do wonderfully well. And it is important to remember that there are many avenues available to veterinarians beyond traditional veterinary practice. Now, the private practice is a thing that is now trying to be open up, and it's a reality because the government that used to be the major source of employment can no longer take in more, but they also need us more. There are so many big farms, you know, coming up. I mean, 10 years ago, we didn't have anything like Olam farms. And you also have farms today that produces broilers, like 1 million dressed broilers every month. And they need us. They need us. And the key aspect is that we don't have to be afraid. We just need to explore, get a mentor, do as much as possible to volunteer. Don't name that prize immediately, but do a number of things that will make you really a source of help for what is it called, for humanity. And there I think I rest my case that beyond being a native clinical veterinary practitioner lies a number of opportunities. And thank you so much for this great opportunity. And I hope I didn't disappoint you. Thank you, sirs. Hello? Are you there? Hello? Hello? Is the host still there? Can you hear me?
Thank you very, very much. Dr. Bala, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now. My last slide, slide 70. Okay, it's just to thank you. Yeah.
Okay, the last slide only contained thank you. So I was saying if this were to be a physical gathering, I would have asked everyone to give you a very loud round of applause because this is a very, very concise and inspiring presentation. Really appreciate. And from what we had from Professor Fashina yesterday and what you're saying today, there is a tally, a trend is emerging. We are seeing now that beyond the native clinical practice, there are lots of opportunities out there that are emanating from the problems that the world is facing now. And it is the duty of vets, the young vets, to take charge of these opportunities on their own. Nobody's going to do it for you. You have to just assume this spirit of entrepreneurship and take advantage of these opportunities that are emerging. So thank you very, very much, Dr. Bala. We really appreciate your presence, and you did not disappoint us. I'm repeating this once again. We enjoyed the lecture so, so much. So before I proceed to taking questions from the participants, I would like to seek your permission to share the slides with the participants after the lecture by email. Am I permitted to do that,
yes,
sir?
Please. Go ahead.
Okay.
Yes, please.
Okay.
Go ahead, sir.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. So as you can see, he's using sir for me. Dr. Bala is the most humble veterinarian on the planet. You can quote me anywhere, please. So we are now taking questions. You can drop your questions in the chat box. I will read them out to Dr. Bala and he would answer them. So first of all, I would like to read out a comment from Dr. Shiu, which is another extraordinary vet in the country. It's an honor to be part of this life-changing conversation led by my mentor, Dr. Bala Mohammed. Honestly, as young vets, we need to act on our knowledge. So thanks, Dr. Bala, for holding my hands. We need more of your likes. The one area we need to work at is public-private partnership, for it holds a lot of opportunities for collaboration and impact. And if you watch this statement very well, it's following the trend that started yesterday. Impact and resource generation, revenue generation for your own self, for the community, making people smile through the veterinary profession. Thank you very much, Dr. Shiu. So another comment from Ali Rabi. It's an honor indeed to have you, sir. This is so encouraging. We thank you so much, Doctor. So, and if you look at Dr. Shields' comments, public-private partnership is something that the OIE, the World Organization for Animal Health, is advertising so much these days. They even held a lecture in which people were certified recently. I'm sure some people attended. I'm very sure of the extraordinary vet with me here, Dr. Shiu Shamsuddin. He attended and he got a certificate. So the next comment is, I am Pablo Franco. I do work with sea lions here in Mazatlan in Mexico. So thank you very much for your time and your knowledge, Dr. Abubakar. So someone is saying thank you from Mexico, sir. Sulaiman Mohammed from Kenya said, wonderful lecture. And Abubakar Idris Adam, we are grateful, sir. Sir, someone is asking for your email. Can we get that? But I think I would communicate with you afterwards on that. It won't be nice for us to put your email up in the open like this. People would bug you with a lot of messages, and we don't want. We know you're a very busy person, and you won't be having time for all of that. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Okay, so stop asking for his email. I will communicate with him, and I will get back to you, guys. So, the president of FCVSN in Nigeria sent a comment. I'd like to read it out. Over the years, veterinary practice in Nigeria has been bedeviled by quackery. Recently, we read on news about 2 suspected criminals reported to be vets who were caught supplying army uniforms and treating rustled cattle, which turned out to be false. So, as the vice president of the governing council of the Veterinary Council of Nigeria, what is the leadership of the council currently doing to address the issue of quackery? Personally, I think this issue has been addressed by the Veterinary Council of Nigeria. We can all see, we all saw the statement that was released on virtually all social media channels that the two suspects are not vets. That was a false allegation, and some veterinarians were even calling for a court order and all of that with daily time. So I don't know. I've forgotten the news channel that picked that up, but this has been addressed by the Veterinary Council of Nigeria, and we all appreciate the aggressive and the timely manner in which it was addressed by the Veterinary Council of Nigeria. So, thank you so much. Do we have any question for Dr. Bala? Okay, I'm seeing a question here. What are your motivations as a vet? Dr. Bala, if you can, I think that is the only question we have. If you can answer that, then we'll be able to call it a day. What are your
motivations? I mean, motivation, like I did mention, is to see the bigger picture as a clinician, that you leave home every day and you have a place where you will go in and then you help and then you get something back in return. But it shouldn't be only that, like spending time with you this evening is quite one fulfilling thing, which I try as much as possible to do every day. It's either I am in my mentor's place, Dr. Ezenwa Konobi, as a ministry person, learning how to raise proposals. In civil service, they call it memos. In business, we call it business plan. And you can do that virtually every day. I have done 2 today, one to the World Health Organization and then one to Abaxis. And it's simple. Why do I want to do this and do that? So it gives me a lot of inspiration. It isn't that maybe getting some good bucks in your bank account. No, it is that each day I live, that my phones are even buzzing and then people are looking for one thing or the other. Most of the times, I'm not the one that have the competence to provide the customers what they have, but I certainly know somebody who may also know somebody who will make that customer satisfied. And each time it comes back to me, I mean that, oh, thank you for doing this. You know, it gives you this inspiration and you always want to do more tomorrow and the day after and like that. So it is a thing that we should look up to. It shouldn't be like we have always found it, that you've been admitted as a vet and then you are feeling shy. You say, oh, I want to change course, or you do this. I've seen that in some 32, 33 years ago, where in my class, virtually everybody would want to change course. And I thought I was in a different world, because this is what I actually wanted to become, and I have it now. And then some people are leaving. And like I said, I must congratulate every member of this profession, students, and even the graduate of veterinary medicine, for choosing this profession, because going ahead is going to be very tough for us. When I say tough, it's going to be very tough for us as a nation with our economy, until and unless you look at livestock production, you look at livestock agriculture, and then you also look at the larger picture of agriculture, because the non-oil revenue will not come only from mineral resources. The easier catch is agriculture, and those who will make it happen are you and I, vets. And we must look at those things that an average consumer of food wants to smell, wants to see, wants to eat. Thank you.
You're welcome, sir. You actually own all the thanks. We should be saying thank you every minute for this privilege. So before I take the last question that we are going to be welcoming for the day. I'd like to probably confirm what you said about people not wanting to be veterinarians. I think the situation changed a bit. Many people now they are in vet school because they want to be vet, but we still have a good number of people at 400 level that will tell you that will tell you if they get human medicine they'll fly out. But that is not the way. I think vet is gaining not only more recognition but more impact on people's lives now than even the counter. But I don't want to go into that today. Thank you very much, sir. So the last question we'll be taking is, how do you seek out mentors, sir? He's asking how someone can seek out mentors.
I think it's easy. I did mention earlier, I mean, in the beginning of my song, it isn't maybe a teacher figure or a father figure or all this. A mentor can even be your son, but a mentor is somebody who has been there before you, or who do understand. He may not even be a practitioner, but he understands everything that you are trying to achieve because he's been there or before you. And therefore, it is very simple. You can have many mentors based on the type of businesses or the type of practices you want to undertake. I give you an example. When it comes to equine practice, God bless his soul, Professor Kwanashi was my mentor. But he had also referred a number of clients to me, and I keep telling him, I don't want to do it the way you taught me in the university. He said, I know, but I want to do it differently, but I want to get from you how you manage it. And then when it comes to small animal medicine, I have a different mentor. I have a mentor when it comes to veterinary administration in Professor Sharugutu. I have a mentor when it comes to business planning and then doing a very nice report in Dr. Ezenwa Konobi. I also have mentors who may have something to do with my stability in terms of mental and emotional stability. And you will have to look out for somebody who is a vet or who is in a profession near that and then is able to speak to you based on that. I have mentors in Lagos Business School, my alma mater. I have mentors still in the university, like in Professor Aminu Chafe, Professor Aminu Mohamed Chafe, Professor Daneji, and all this. And that is exactly how you can always do. I mean, you can just look around you. Don't look for a mentor because he's your father or he's somebody who is supporting you, but you can't reach him. No, that is not the person. Look for somebody who is closer to you and is doing something closer to what you are doing, or he has done something closer to what you want to do, and then adopt him as a mentor. And you find out that he will ask you to run, even if it is in through a steel wall, and you will make it. Thank you.
Thank you very, very much, sir. That was another excellent response. We really, really appreciate your presence. So for the foreigners that didn't join in time, we are having the Vice President of the Veterinary Council of Nigeria today, Dr. Muhammad Bala, and we'll be sharing the slides with you guys as well as the recording. So you would hear. We understand if you miss this, you are missing just too much, and we won't want that to happen. We've organized this, and we are going to make sure we take care of everyone to the fullest. So we'll be sending out the recordings as well as the slides. The slides will go to only those that request through the email that I've sent, but the recording will go to everyone that actually registered to participate in the webinar. So thank you so much, Dr. Bala. Before I give the official vote of thanks, I'd like to implore you guys to watch out for tomorrow's session with Dr. Aishatu, the president of the Veterinary Council of Nigeria. So you see, tomorrow is going to be Abubakar, because of the personality we're having. Obviously, it's going to come through the VCN channel, not the same channel that you know. The team, the OC team, will communicate with you on what channel we're going to use. So thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much, Dr. Bala. I wish there was another word aside thank you. I wish there was another phrase aside thank you that I can use for you. We really appreciate your presence. We appreciate the fact that you took time out of your busy, very busy schedule to attend to students. Thank you so much. We appreciate. So this will be the end of today's session of the IVSA Nigeria Vet series. Thank you, everyone. Once again, I am Dauda Onawala.